Hello and welcome back to Ash's Red Reigns. We are once again facing the corpse of Viros, this time going against the shadow aspect. And we are going to be using 5 aspects once again, so alternating 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 to build the Chimera's board. And as for ourselves, we are going to be using Rowan Umbran's deck. Now this is for the most part Rowan Umbran's original deck, however I'm removing all 3 copies of Chant of Hostility, because this is a card that boosts your unit attack, which is not that useful in my opinion when it comes to playing his default deck, and I'm replacing it with Chant of Worship, which comes from Brennan's original deck. And this lets you draw cards, which is basically all you want to do when you're playing Rowan, because you are fishing for 2 cards, Discovery and Era's End, which I will get into what they do later. However, I do feel like I should explain that that is what we're trying to do with this deck, so that you won't be confused as to why I'm doing nothing but drawing cards and just taking damage to the face. All I want is those 2 cards so I can play my red raindrops and get my Reborn Chimera out. Now there are 3 reasons why I'm playing this deck. The first being that it is pretty thematic. As I said, we get red raindrops and we get to play a Chimera, because Rowan is the reason the Chimera came back in terms of the lore of Ashes. So playing with Rowan against the first Chimera is pretty thematic. The second reason being that if you bought Ashes Ascendancy, you have this card that came with it, Rowan Umbran Alternative Art. And I figure I might as well show you what Rowan Umbran does, because you might be looking at this card and being like, hey, that looks pretty interesting, should I try playing with this guy? So let's show you what it's like playing with this guy. And the third being that I just like using Rowan. He is my 3rd favorite Phoenixborn in terms of playing with them, and I just really enjoy playing with him. So let's get started, shall we? My opening 5 cards are going to be Discovery, Chant of Worship, Ritualist, Knowledge Seeker, and Summon Ruin Dweller. Now Rowan's deck is a dual color deck. You get 2 different dice types, and the announcement link for this deck actually suggests 6 ceremonial and 4 time dice, but I'm just going to go 5 and 5. So let's roll our dice. That was a basic as well. 3 ceremonial basics, 1 goat, 1 knife, 2 time basics with 3 hourglasses. Not the best roll in the world. Players go first in Ashes, and I'm going to start by playing... Oh, let's just start with my Ritualist. I'm going to play a knife and a main action to get Ritualist out. Ritualist has Incant. When this unit comes into play, you may search your draw pile or discard pile for a ready spell with Chant in its title. Reveal it and place it into your hand. I am searching for another Chant of Worship, because all I want to do is draw cards. This will also let me thin out my deck, which is appreciated, because it makes it so I have more chances of drawing the cards that I want. And if I did search my draw pile, I have to shuffle it. And for my side action, I will meditate twice. I need 2 more knives. I'm going to meditate 2 times. Rapture and Knowledge Seeker. Not the best things to meditate away, but that's okay. So I'm going to get these into goats. And now it's the Chimera's turn. Roll to see what they do. 3 and a basic. Or 3 is attack if able, if not reveal. So they're going to reveal. Glare. The opposing player cannot play action or reaction spells. That is so unfortunate. Oh, that's so bad. I actually really need to play action spells. Okay, let's go... I need to kill them right away, so I'm going to go Knowledge Seeker for my main action. That's going to cost a hourglass and a basic. And since this is the first dual-colored deck that we're playing on this channel, I should mention that it is more difficult to pilot, simply because when you're paying basic cost, you can use any basic dice. So you have to actually choose which one to use, as opposed to playing a mono-color deck where you just go, oh, basic, I'm going to use the basic. But yes, I'm going to play Knowledge Seeker. Knowledge Seeker is a 2/2/1, so that can kill the glare when it attacks, and has Seek 3. When this comes into play, look at the top 3 cards of your draw pile, place each card on the top or bottom of your draw pile, and you get to choose the order. And I am going to, I'm going to put the Chant of Worship on... what am I going to do? Yeah, I'm going to put the Chant of Worship on top, and I'm going to place these 2 on the bottom, because I want to draw that Chant of Worship. For my side action, I am going to play a Chant of Worship. This is going to cost me a knife as well as a side action. And Chant of Worship has, after an ally you control is destroyed, place 1 status token on the spell if it has no status tokens on it. Most of the chants do this. Actually, I think that maybe all the chants do this. But for a main action and exhausting this, not main action and side action, unlike the chant in the previous game, you can remove 1 status token from the spell to draw a card. So now it is their turn. Rolled a red range and a 2, that's just reveal. And they reveal Dark Descent. This also goes straight from my face. It has Descent 1. When this unit is declared as an attacker, place 1 exhaustion token on the opposing player's target leftmost unit. If that unit was already exhausted, discard it. This is a 3/3/2, a big beefy unit. Okay. I'm gonna need something to deal with that as well, so I'm gonna play Summon Ruin Dweller. This is just a main action to play, and for a main action exhausting this and a knife and an hourglass, I can place a Ruin Dweller Conjuration onto my battlefield, and Ruin Dweller is a 3/2, I believe, yeah, 3/2/0, with Blight 1 at the end of the round, or when this unit is destroyed as the result of an attack an opponent controls, deal 1 damage to target Phoenixborn. So when they attack and I block with Ruin Dweller, it's gonna kill them both, and I get to deal 1 damage to the corpse of Viros. It's basically reverse overkill, which I really like. Especially against the Chimera, because it's so much harder to get the Chimeras, or to get overkill off when you're attacking a Chimera, because the Chimera might just guard, so the overkill might not happen, whereas they will always eventually attack, so having the Blight trigger off being destroyed as a result of an attack is guaranteed. Side action, I'm going to play another Chant of Worship. This is going to cost me another knife and a side action, and now it is their turn. We're going to roll to see what they do. Got a basic and a 7. 7 says, target opposing player must lower 2 non-basic dice in their active pool. I'm going to lower a goat to a knife, because I don't need a goat, and an hourglass to a basic. And then we reveal a Storm Call. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, I don't like this guy. Okay. Storm Call, basically, it comes into play with 2 tokens, you can tell by the 2 pips on the green text box, and at the beginning of the Chimera's turn, one of these pips is going to go away, or one of these status tokens is going to go away, and they're going to deal 1 damage to my Phoenixborn. However, if it was the last one that went away, then the Corpse of Viros will get a Red Range token, which is 5 dice worth of these rolling to Red Range side, so that's not great. How am I going to deal with this? I think I'm going to go side action, discard the top card of my deck. Oh wait, no, that's a Chant of Worship. I already knew that. Hold up. I already knew that. I need a unit to die so I can draw the card. Oh, let's just take a risk. Let's just take the risk. I want to draw that Chant of Worship, I should say. I don't need to draw it. I could always just take the Storm Call, getting a thing. I really want them to attack. That would be the most optimal thing to happen, but they're not attacking. Alright, fine, let's do this. Oh no, it's not gonna work out timing-wise either way, because I need a main action to do Chant of Worship to draw a card, and I need to meditate and use a side action to get rid of this token, so I won't be able to do my fancy time dice stuff. Because with a time dice, you can place a status token or as a side action, and using a turtle, the time dice allows you to use that turtle to place a status token on a unit you control, and remove a status token from another unit or spell. So next turn, the Storm Call would activate, and in my turn, if I had a turtle, I could use that turtle to remove this token so that they don't get the Red Range token from Storm Call removing it. But unfortunately, I don't have a turtle. So instead, I'm just going to use Summon Ruin Dweller. That's going to cost a knife and an hourglass to get that Ruin Dweller into play. And no side action, it is their turn. Storm Call is going to activate, deal 1 damage to my Phoenixborn, and we roll to see what they do. Please attack. 9, target opposing player must lower 2 dice. I don't have any non-basic dice, so they're just going to reveal, and they reveal Lurk. Okay, Lurk is kind of famous when it comes to Ashes Red Reigns, because this is the very first boss that was released in Ashes. So this is where a lot of people jumped into the game and said, hey, let's check this out, let's see what, it's like. And when they came across Lurk, they're not used to the idea that if a unit is exhausted, then they have no abilities. So Lurk has, well, first off, Lurk is a 4/1/2, which is big attack, and it has Conceal. This unit cannot be targeted by spells, attacks, abilities, or dice powers an opponent controls. So people saw that and they were like, oh, I can never target this guy. I can never target him with anything. So basically, I would have to counterattack to kill it, but it has Quick Strike. When this unit is attacking, it deals its damage before units in battle with it. So people thought that you had to defend with a unit that has 5 HP and 1 attack at least to kill the Lurk. Otherwise, you can't kill it because you can't target it. But these are not in a yellow text box or green text box. So once Lurk is exhausted, you can target it. So the shadow aspect gets a bit of a bad rap from people who aren't used to the idea that exhausted units they have no abilities, and it's all Lurk's fault basically. However, all they did was reveal Lurk, so now it is my turn, and I could just attack the Stormcall and try to kill it. I suppose that didn't occur to me. I'm just gonna pass for my main action. That doesn't feel good. So when you pass with your main action and they have a face down aspect, you do need to raise one dice one level. And then, oh wait, no, hold up. They didn't reveal that. Stormcall is gonna activate, deals me 1 damage, but because that was the last token off of Stormcall, they're gonna get a red range token. And now we roll to see what they get. They roll a basic and a 9. Once again, I have to lower 2 dice. I don't have 2 dice, and then reveal. And now it is my turn, and I will once again pass. So now that all their face-down units are face-up, they're just going to attack from left to right. Glare is going to attack me directly. I'm going to have Knowledge Seeker block to Glare, and they're going to kill each other. Knowledge Seeker dies, and so does Glare. Glare has Blood 1, dealing 1 damage to the Chimera. Rowan Umbrand, however, has Conscript. After an ally you control is destroyed, you may place it face down under this card, discarding any other allies underneath this card. I'm going to place this underneath Rowan, and he has Exhume. This costs a main action and a basic dice. Place an ally that is underneath this card onto your battlefield, then destroy it. So if a unit has an ability that activates when it comes into play and when it dies, like Knowledge Seeker, that's very useful because it will come back into play and be destroyed when Rowan uses that ability. So an ally was destroyed. I also get a status token on 2 of my Chant of Worships. And now it is my turn. And with my turn, I am going to use one of my Chant of Worships, exhaust it, remove a status token to draw a card. And I already knew that was going to be a Chant of Worship. Side action, I'm going to meditate off the top of my deck. Chant of Erosion, that's fine. I'm going to change this into a goat. And just to be safe, should I meditate some more? In case they make me lower that. No, they won't make me lower it because they have all their dice. They're not going to be rolling any more dice. Okay. So I already know what's going to happen. I need to play my Chant of Worship, and Discovery is fine. That's okay. No side action. Okay, so this is their turn. They're going to attack. Dark Descent is attacking. When it is declared as an attacker, I have to place an exhaustion token on my leftmost unit, and then Ruin Dweller is going to block that, and they're going to kill each other. Ruin Dweller died as a result of an attack, so they're going to take 1 damage, and Dark Descent has Blood 2, so they're going to take 3 damage total. Now it's my turn. Side action, I am going to use my goat to pay for a Chant of Worship, and main action, I am going to use another Chant of Worship, discard that get rid of that status token to draw a card, and I drew Rapture, okay. Oh, I don't have another knife, unfortunately. I can't use my Rapture. That's such a shame. Okay, that's fine. So, it is the opponent's turn. They're gonna go. Stormcall is going to attack. And I am going to guard Ritualist. Because Stormcall is attacking my Ritualist, but once per round, you can guard a unit being attacked. Because they're only attacking for 1. I'm willing to take that 1 damage to the face. Because next turn, Lurk is gonna attack. And I would rather Lurk attack the Ritualist as opposed to Stormcall attacking it. Because Lurk is gonna attack for 4. So, Rowan's gonna take that 1 damage to the face, and Stormcall is going to be exhausted, and now it's my turn. And I will just use a basic to play Discovery. Discovery costs a main action, a basic, and this is a discard symbol. I have to discard a card from my hand to do this. Attach a red raindrop, conjured alteration spell to your Phoenixborn. This is the red raindrop. Then shuffle this card into your draw pile. So this doesn't go to your graveyard when you play it. It gets shuffled back into your deck, which is very useful when all you care about at the beginning of the game is just playing 3 of those cards. Now, Red Raindrop has, at the beginning of the round, you may deal 1 damage to a target unit. Then, if there are 3 red raindrops attached to your Phoenixborn, place a Reborn Chimera Conjuration onto your battlefield. And has Spellguard, this unit, or this spell cannot be affected by an opponent's spells. So they can't exhaust this, basically, to try to stop you from doing this. But it doesn't really matter, you're going to have 3 of them. And having 3 of them means that even if they were to try to exhaust it, they would need to exhaust 3 cards to prevent you from getting your Reborn Chimera out. So I've shuffled that back into my deck, and I get my red raindrop. I'm not going to place this underneath Rowan because I have a lot of empty space over here, so I'm just going to place it over here. Now it's their turn. They're going to attack with Lurk. Lurk is going to attack Ritualist, which will kill Ritualist. And Lurk will not be killed because A, Ritualist was exhausted, so they don't counterattack, but also Lurk has Quick Strike, so they attack first. They deal damage first. But that kills a unit, so I get a status token on my Chant of Worship. My turn. I am going to use my Chant of Worship, exhaust this to... Well, actually, I don't need to draw a card just yet. Might as well. Let's draw a card. No, wait, no. Main action, I'm going to use my last dice to use Rowan's ability. This is going to exhaust Rowan, and this has Exhume. Main action, exhaust, basic dice. Place an ally that is exhaust or underneath this card, into play. Then destroy it. So Knowledge Seeker comes into play. When it comes into play, I can look at the top 3 cards of my draw pile, put them on the top or bottom of my draw pile, and I will place Summon Ruin Dweller on top, and the other 2 on the bottom. And then Bequest, when this unit is destroyed, because it is now destroyed, I can draw a card. Because Rowan is exhausted, she won't go back underneath Rowan, but I do get to draw a card. I drew a Summon Ruin Dweller, which I will play next turn, but now it is their turn. They're going to attack with the Dark Descent. They would exhaust my leftmost unit, but I don't have one, so I'm just going to take 3 damage to the face. My turn, I'm going to play a Summon Ruin Dweller. No side actions, it's their turn, my turn. I'm going to use my Chant of Worship to draw a card. And I drew Era's End. Okay, that's interesting. That's actually quite interesting. Let's save that for next turn. So it's their turn, they pass, my turn, I pass because I have no dice so I can't play anything else. And that's the end of the round. Now, the end of the round is very important in terms of how you do things in order. We recover the aspects on the Chimera side that has these pips, refill their pips, unfortunately, and they get a red range token for each living unit after we refill the board. Unfortunately, that means they get 3 red range tokens. 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 is more than 3, so now they do their ultimate. And the ultimate for stage 1 says, deal 1 damage to all units and Phoenixborn the Chimera opponent's control. So I'm going to take 1 more damage, and remove this card and the top behavior from the game, so behavior 1 goes away, and they move on to behavior 2, which is slightly more aggressive. Also, they go first this time. However, Rowan's deck is full of stuff that triggers at the end of the round. So now that that stuff has happened, the end of the round stuff activates, like my red raindrop. At the end of the round, you may deal 1 damage to target unit. Then, if there are 3 red raindrops attached to your Phoenixborn, place a Reborn Chimera Conjuration onto your battlefield. So we're still waiting for 2 more red raindrops, but I can still deal 1 damage to any unit, and I'm going to do it to Stormcall. I would love if I could do it to Lurk. However, Lurk is now unexhausted, so they are concealed, and I cannot target it anymore, which is a shame. So, next round starts, we roll our dice. Basic, 2 basic, Ceremonial, and 3 knives. And then 1 basic time, 3 hourglass, and 1 turtle. That's okay. And I can choose to discard any cards if I want to. Do I want to discard Era's End? I kind of don't. Yeah, I don't want to discard Era's End. So I draw back up to 5, 4 more cards, and I got Crypt Guardian, Knowledge Seeker, Rapture, and another Crypt Guardian. That is not very useful. Alright. So they go first. The status token is going to go away and deal me 1 more damage. And then we roll to see what they do. Rolled a red range, and a 3/3 is attack if able, if not reveal. Okay, so Stormcall is attacking. Unfortunately, their ability is in a green text box, so it's not gonna make it so they don't do that next turn. They're attacking for 1, I'm gonna take that 1 damage, and now it's my turn. Yeah, I'm thinking side action turtle. So I'm gonna do what I was trying to do last round. I'm gonna use my turtle as a side action, place a status token on a unit I control. I don't have any units, but then I get to remove a status token from a unit or spell. So I'm going to remove this status token so the Stormcall can't remove it themselves and give themselves a red range token. Main action, I'm also going to play a Knowledge Seeker. This is going to cost me an Hourglass and a basic. What basic do I want to use? I need 2 Hourglasses, I need 3 Hourglasses. So I'm going to use a basic Ceremonial. Knowledge Seeker comes into play. I can look at the top 3 cards of my draw pile, place them on top or bottom, and I'm going to place a Summon Ruin Dweller on top, and then put the rest on the bottom. No, I'm going to place, and then place the rest on the bottom. And then it's their turn. They don't have a status token to remove, so they can't do the Stormcall. We're going to roll to see what they do. They rolled a 12. Oh, no, they rolled a 12. 12 and a basic, so 12, they're going to get another red range token, and then basic is just, and then reveal. And they reveal a glare. Of course they reveal the glare. I hate glare so much. Glare means that while they are unexhausted, I cannot play action spells, and 2 of the cards in my hand are action spells that I would really have liked to play. That actually really ruins my sequence of stuff I wanted to do. I want to... Oh, let's meditate. Let's meditate. I need to meditate. Okay, so meditate off the top of my hand. I'm going to meditate 1 card off the top of my deck, which was a Summon Ruin Dweller. I'm fine with getting rid of that. I put that there because I want to meditate it, and I'm going to meditate 1 card from my hand. So change these 2 dice from a goat and a turtle. Or to a goat and a turtle. That's my side action. My main action is going to be playing the Crypt Guardian. I'm going to use the goat, a time, and a basic to play Crypt Guardian. Crypt Guardian has unit guard. This may guard a unit that is being attacked, but it does not have alert, so it will still exhaust if I do that. And it has Shackle 1. At the end of the round, or when this unit is destroyed as a result of a spell, ability, or dice power, you may place 1 exhaustion token on target unexhausted unit. It's a 2/4 for 3 kind of tanky unit, and it has some cool stuff, but I don't really like relying on him to do stuff. He's kind of more, if he's in your hand, you might as well play him, I guess, in my opinion. Roll to see what the Chimera does. Basic and 11. 11 is raised 2 basic dice, 1 level. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. So these are both going to become Red Rains and Reveal. And because these both become Red Rains, that means they have 5 Red Rains, meaning they get another Red Rains token, which makes it 3. So now the ult activates. So, behavior, or ultimate 2, deal 2 damage to all units and the Phoenixborn the opponent controls. So I take 2 more damage. As do all of my units. Knowledge Seeker is dead, and Crypt Guardian takes 2 damage as well. And then remove this card and the top card from the game, behavior card from the game. They're on to behavior 3. Knowledge Seeker dies. Knowledge Seeker goes underneath Rowan, and I get to draw a card. And they reveal Glare, a second Glare. Oh my goodness. Oh, Chant of Worships also get status tokens from my unit dying. And this is actually really not good. This is actually really horrendously bad. I need to kill those glares in order to do anything. What's about to happen? So Lurk is going to attack and kill my Crypt Guardian. Dark Descent will attack and deal 3 damage to me. So 3, 5, 7 damage. That's going to be exactly enough to kill Rowan. So I can't let all of them attack me. But I can't play any of the cards in my... I can play Chant of Erosion, but that's not... I'm not going to do that. Actually, maybe I am going to do that. Maybe I am going to do that. If I do Chant of Erosion, that's going to cost me 1 of these. And then I can play a Ruin Dweller. And I can still draw 3 cards and hope I draw another red raindrop. But I can't kill the glares. I need to kill both of the glares in order to actually play an Era's End, or... I don't need to kill both of them. I just need them to be exhausted. Wait. So if I'm fishing for a red raindrop, I need at least 1 dice. I can do a Ruin Dweller to block something. So that leaves me 1 dice to do stuff with. And I could use that with Era's End. So I'm not going to play the Chant of Erosion. Okay. I am fishing for a red raindrop. Hope I get a red raindrop from this chant. From one of these chants. So main action, I'm just going to use a Chant of Erosion to draw a card. That was an Excavate. Not useful. Third turn, Lurk is going to attack for 4, killing the Crypt Guardian. Unfortunately, Crypt Guardian does not do their cool thing when they are destroyed as a result of an attack, so I don't get the cool Crypt Guardian effect, and Lurk has Quick Strike, so my Crypt Guardian could not counterattack. Now it's my turn, and I am going to wait until Dark Descent attacks, because if I play my Ruin Dweller, when Dark Descent attacks, it's just going to exhaust my Ruin Dweller. So I'm going to main action once again, do a Chant of Worship, draw another card, another Era's End, not useful. Dark Descent is going to attack, dealing me 3 damage, and I'm now up to 14 out of 18 damage. My turn, now that Dark Descent is exhausted, I'm going to play my Summon Ruin Dweller. That's going to cost a Knife and an Hourglass to get a Ruin Dweller out. Their turn, Glare is going to attack, Ruin Dweller is going to block this, killing Ruin Dweller and the Glare, dealing 1 blood damage to the Corpse of Viros, along with 1 from Ruin Dweller being killed by an attack. So 2 more damage, they're up to 6 out of 30. Things are not looking great. This is really, really not good. This is not a good board state for me to be in. I would also really like to kill the... I have to kill the glares, not that I think about it, because if I don't kill the glares, the next round, they're going to be unexhausted, and they're going to be all the way over here. And it's going to take forever to unexhaust it. Yikes. Alright, I'm going to use my last 2 dice to do another Summon Ruin Dweller. Its third turn, Glare is going to attack, kills a Ruin Dweller, dealing 2 more blood, or 1 blood and 1 from the Ruin Dweller to the Corpse of Viros. My turn, I'm going to use a Chant of Worship to draw a card, and there's my Discovery. Unfortunately, I have no dice and I cannot play Discovery. It's their turn, they pass, my turn, and I'm also gonna have to pass, unfortunately. I will go first next round though, so that's the good thing. So, we have both passed, it is the end of the round, and everyone recovers. Stormcall gets 2 more tokens, and now we also refill their board. And now it is the end of the round. Now it is the actual end of the round, when end of the round stuff triggers. So my red raindrop gets to trigger, and I get to deal 1 damage to a unit. Once again, I would love to kill that lurk, but I can kill the Stormcall. So Stormcall is dead. This is after refilling the board. So they take 1 blood damage, and they don't get a replacement for that Stormcall. So now we're going in with 4 aspects as opposed to 5. And now we roll the dice. 3 hourglasses and 2 basics. 2 goats and 3 basics. Flip the first player token, so I go first, and I have to decide if I want to discard any cards. I want to keep both of my era ends, I think. And, ooh, I need to at least... The lurk needs to block something, because I can't take 4 damage to the face, because then I will lose. So I need to play at least 1 unit. My main action has to be a Summon Ruin Dweller, I think. So my side action can't be Era's End. I don't need Chant of Erosion. Rapture is not going to help me. I need to keep Discovery. And I guess I could keep Excavate. So turn 1, play Summon Ruin Dweller. They're going to attack with Lurk, Ruin Dweller is going to die, and then next turn I play Excavate, which will kill the Dark Descent. And then from there, I wing it. That sounds like a good idea. So I'm going to discard 2 cards, Chant of Erosion and Rapture. And then I draw back up to 5, so I draw 1 more card, and there's my second Discovery. Excellent. Okay, I think I can make this work, even though I am so close to death. So, I go first this time. I'm going to do Summon Ruin Dweller. This is going to cost a knife and an hourglass. I only have a goat, unfortunately. Actually, you know what? Now that I have 2 Discoveries in my hand and 2 Era's Ends, I'm going to meditate. That's 1 Discovery. That's actually really good. I like that. I'm going to change a basic into a goat. I'm going to meditate 1 more time. Change another basic into a goat. And 1 more time, change a basic into a turtle. And then I'm going to do the 2 dice, main action, Summon Ruin Dweller. Roll the dice. 8 and a basic. 8 is deal 1 damage to the opposing player's leftmost unit. Thankfully, that will not kill the Ruin Dweller, and then reveal. Okay, it is not a glare. That's all that matters. If they got a glare, I would have been screwed. So they revealed a Regenerate. Regenerate is a very annoying unit because it has Regenerate in an unexhaustible box. This has, when this unit is destroyed, re-roll a basic rage dice. If a basic is rolled, place this unit face up onto the right side of the Chimera's battlefield with an exhaustion token on it. So that means that every time you kill it, it might come back. It will be exhausted, so it won't attack. But if it's alive at the end of the round, that means they're going to get a red range token. So it's kind of hard to keep it down. But that's their turn, they don't attack with it, and now it's my turn. And I can... Ooh, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to main action, use a basic. What basic do I want to use? I don't want to use time. Yeah, I don't want to use time. I'm going to use a basic of this, and I'm going to use Rowan's ability. Place Knowledge Seeker onto the board. Knowledge Seeker comes into play. I can look at the top 3 and put them in any order on the top or bottom. I'm going to put all 3 of them on top, it doesn't matter, and then it's gonna die, and when it dies I get to draw a card. So that's my main action. Side action, I will do nothing. I just want to have a card in my hand so I can discard it. Oh, because a unit died, I get a status token on all 3 Chant of Worships. Third turn, roll to see what they do. Basic on a 10. 10 is raise 3 basic dice 1 level. And then reveal a... Don't be a... Okay, it's a lurk, it's a lurk, it's a lurk. And now they're just going to attack from left to right, so things are going to get easy at this point. First, I am going to do... Yeah, first I'm going to do Discovery. I need 2 for this, 1 for Excavate. So I'm going to do Discovery with a goat. This is going to get shuffled back into the top of my deck, or shuffled back into my deck, but I get another red raindrop token, or alteration spell. And I have to discard a card. The card I'm going to discard is the Crypt Guardian. That's my main action, and for my side action, I'm going to do nothing. Now it's their turn. Lurk is going to attack. It's going to kill my Ruin Dweller. Well, my Ruin Dweller is going to block, and it's going to kill the Ruin Dweller, dealing 1 damage to the Chimera. How much damage can I take? I have 14 out of 18. I can take 4 more damage. I can take 1 hit from Dark Descent. I can't take the Regenerate and the Lurk. So Dark Descent can attack, Lurk can't attack. I can kill the Regenerate, and then... Okay. No point in playing a unit this turn. I'm going to use Excavate. This is going to cost me a Hourglass and a basic. And Excavate has discard 3 cards off the top of your draw pile. This is my main action. If you do, place 1 of them into your hand and deal 3 damage to a unit. So discard 3 cards and place 1 into my hand. The card I'm going to place into my hand is going to be Chant of Erosion. So I get to deal 3 damage to a unit. I'm going to choose to deal the 3 damage to the Dark Descent. This has Blood 2, dealing 2 more damage to the Corpse of Viros. And no side action. It is their turn. Regenerate is attacking me for 2. I can't do anything about that. So I take 2 more damage and I'm up to 16 out of 18. Now it's my turn. I'm going to do a Summon Ruin Dweller. Get the Ruin Dweller out. And then it's their turn. Lurk is going to attack. Ruin Dweller is going to block, killing the Ruin Dweller. Lurk is now exhausted, and I get to deal 1 damage to the Corpse of Viros. Now it's my turn, and I need... All the units are exhausted, so they're not going to attack anymore, so 3 turns in a row, I'm just going to do Chant of Worship. To draw 3 cards. Or actually, I only have 2 cards left in my deck. Okay, this works out fine. So, I'm going to do Era's End. No, wait. This works out more than fine. Okay. Main action, use a basic. I need a time still, so I'm going to use a basic ceremonial die. And I have to discard a card. I'm going to discard Ritualist to get out my red raindrops, and Discovery actually gets shuffled back into my deck. So I get my 3rd red raindrop. 3rd turn they pass. My turn, I'm going to use Era's End. This costs my main action and my side action. And an Hourglass. This resolves all effects that trigger at the end of the round on unexhausted cards currently in play in the order of my choice. So, the only unexhausted cards are my red raindrops. Each one of these activates. Deal 1 damage to a unit, or to a target unit. I'm going to deal 1 damage to Lurk. This has Blood 2, dealing 2 blood damage to the Chimera. They're up to 15 out of 30. And because I have 3 red raindrops, I get to put out a Reborn Chimera. Now, the 2nd red raindrop activates. I get to deal 1 damage to a unit. I'm going to do that to Lurk. Deal another 2 blood damage to the Chimera. And then the 3rd one activates. Get to kill the Regenerate, dealing 1 damage to the Chimera. But now we roll a basic dice, and if it rolls a basic, which it didn't, it would regenerate. But now they have another red rains dice, but Regenerate stays dead. And now it's their turn. They pass. My turn. Reborn Chimera is going to attack. Reborn Chimera is a 4/4/0 with Overkill 3, which is great value considering it only cost 1 card to get it out. But you need to have 3 red raindrops. But when it attacks and destroys a unit an opponent controls, it gets to deal 3 damage to the target opposing Phoenixborn. So you can either go straight for the face for 4, or you could kill a unit and deal 3 damage anyways. But since they have no unit, Reborn Chimera is attacking the Corpse of Viros directly, dealing 4 damage. And they're now up to 22 out of 30. And then it is the end of the round. So we're going to refill their battlefield, flip the first player token so they go first, everything unexhausts, and all of my end of round stuff activates. Red raindrops, I can deal 1 damage to target unit. There are no units I want to deal damage to though, so I am actually... This might sound counterintuitive. This might sound really counterintuitive. You might not understand why I'm doing this, but I'm going to place all 3 damage onto my Reborn Chimera. Because while the Reborn Chimera is out here, I cannot get out another Reborn Chimera, and I have 2 Era's... Oh no, I have 1 Era's End in my hand. So when I next use my Era's End, if the Reborn Chimera is out here, I won't have that Reborn Chimera. Or I wouldn't be able to play another Reborn Chimera, and it would just be out here exhausted, assuming it's exhausted. We're going to re-roll the dice. 2 turtles, 2 hourglasses, and a basic. And a goat, 2 knives, and 2 basics. I can choose to discard any cards if I want to, but I'm not going to because I only have 1 card left in my deck. I'm going to draw up to 5. Unfortunately, I can only draw 1 card, and I still need to draw 1 more card. So at this point, I will take 1 damage from not having a card to draw at the beginning of the round. They go first this time. We're going to roll to see what they do. They rolled a Red Rains. And normally this doesn't matter, but the Red Rains happens first, so these all become basics, and they get a Red Rains token. And if they had 3, now their ultimate would go off. And then we would do what the new one is as opposed to the old one, because it would get rid of the top behavior card. But they're already at behavior 3, so that's not going to matter, even if they did use their ultimate. So 1 is attack if able, if not reveal. They're going to reveal a regenerate. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm at 17 damage, so I can't even take 1 more damage. Let's do a Summon Ruin Dweller. Get one of those guys out here for my main action, and no side action. Third turn, we're going to roll to see what they do. Roll a 5 and a basic. 5 is reveal, attack to the revealed aspect, Stormcall. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. That's fine. It comes into play with 2 status tokens, but they're attacking. So they're attacking my Ruin Dweller, and they're going to kill each other. Ruin Dweller is dead, dealing 1 blood damage, and they also have 1 blood, so they're going to take 2 damage. So the Stormcall won't activate at the beginning of the turn to deal me the 1 damage that I need to die. Good. Let's just do another Ruin Dweller. Third turn. Red Rains and a 2. 2 is attack if able, if not reveal, so regenerate as attacking Ruin Dweller. They're going to kill each other. Once again, dealing 1 more blood or 1 blood and 1 from the Ruin Dweller. So they're now up to 16, or 26 out of 30, and then we roll for the regenerate to see if they come back to life. They don't come back to life. And actually, since they're at 26 out of 30, and they have no units, I can just attack with the Reborn Chimera, and they have no units to block with, so they're dead. Reborn Chimera attacks for 4, and kills them. And we managed to defeat the corpse of Viros. Now, I wanted to do something cooler than that to win. For example, let's just say that these guys were face up. Maybe not all of these guys. Yeah, maybe not all of these guys. Okay, here, let's just say that they had 3 more regenerates. I could use, and then let's say my Reborn Chimera killed something, and it was dead. I could once again use another Era's End, main action and side action, trigger all 3 red raindrops, kill the 3 regenerates, they might come back, but then get a Reborn Chimera out, and then do cool stuff with that. That's kind of the thing you want to be doing at the end of the game, is just playing Era's End a lot, and triggering free damage and getting your Reborn Chimera out, but that didn't really work out that way. But I think you get the point. Yeah, Rowan Umbrand is a very cool deck. His base deck is very cool. You're just kind of fishing for the discoveries and end of eras, so you can get out your Reborn Chimera and dealing free damage for 1 dice. It's very, very cool. Unfortunately, you will be in a very disadvantaged position for most of the game. But when it works really well, and it is totally worth it. And I hope you see why I took out Chant of Hostility and replaced it with Chant of Worship. Chant of Hostility just really does not do much for you. You're not attacking. You're not trying to attack. Ruin Dweller specifically activates when it is destroyed as a result of an attack an opponent controls, so you're not going to be attacking with Ruin Dweller. And in general, when it comes to Ash's Red Rains, attacking is not the best way to ensure that you destroy their units. Anyways, now that we have gotten the first box out of the way, I hope I will see you next time when I play against the End of Our Gaia, the very last Red Rains box, which is a very, very different experience. It is a very difficult boss, so there's a decent chance I'm gonna lose. If you watched me play these games and you thought it was very easy and you were concerned that maybe this game is too easy, rest assured, it is not. End of Our Gaia will prove that. And I think that, in general, this game scales really easily. If you want to say, if you're starting off and you're playing with 4 aspects and you're like, oh, this is too easy, you can just add another aspect, and now the game is more difficult in a nice scalable way. It doesn't become twice as difficult like some games, and it doesn't become BS like some games. And then if you're saying, oh, well, 5 was a nice challenge, but I want something really challenging, you can go 6 aspects. And now it's a much more challenging experience. And once again, it is not twice as difficult or going BS. It's just a really difficult challenge, but it's still relatively fairish. And if you want to actually go BS, you can go 7 aspects. And now the Chimera is just straight up cheating. But if you want a game where you're playing against an opponent that is straight up cheating, you can do that. So that's one of the reasons I really like Ashes a lot, as opposed to some other games. But yeah, hopefully I will see you next time. We're still going to do 5 aspects when we go against the End of Our Gaia, but you'll see how much more difficult that experience is. Once again, this has been Trash Plays, and I hope I will see you next time against the End of Our Gaia, and goodbye.